Most was so excited. He wanted to broadcast the tournament on radio, but things change very quickly in the sport, as I've mentioned, and things have changed now. And now, am I correct to say they've changed for the better?
I believe so. I think this is destiny, legacy. It's about Phumelela becoming not just an African star, which I believe he is. It's about him becoming a global star. Legitimately, Bam Rodriguez is top 10 by most pundits pound for pound list.
Yeah.
And I feel that this is the right moment, the right opportunity. And if you read the press releases and you heard my interviews, you get one bite at the apple, and this is the bite. And there was just no way possible for us to turn the shot down. You know.
Well, you did turn it down the first time. So what was different this time around?
Yeah, so I did turn it down the first time because we were set on, first of all, when the opportunity first arose, I thought to myself, no, let's just, get him into position and be comfortable as world champion. But literally, as it was whispered in my ear, 15 minutes later in the dressing room, Phumelela looked at me and he said to me, "Pops, get me Rodriguez." And I was like, wow. And he's never really called out anyone. So literally, as I was said, and then I was like, no, wait. Literally, and I'm not BSing everyone. 15 minutes later, he said to me, he looked me in the eye, I was like, and this is just after he became world champion in the dressing room, he said, "Give me Rodriguez." And I was like, okay, let's maybe keep that at the back of my minds.
So they came back with a better offer.
It was quite complex what actually happened. So we got offered, there was talk about this opportunity coming. First it was Matchroom, then it was Riyadh season, then it was back to Matchroom. And the way it kind of just played out was, this setting this fight up was like a game of chess. It really was, because we knew that Rodriguez wanted unification. He was desperate to go out and fight. And there was talks about Riyadh season mentioning his name. Are we going to promote him? And we knew that while this was going on, there were two fighters in the mix, us and Martinez. And Martinez was, for whatever reason, was kind of, I don't want to say outplayed by Team Cafu, but we also were in the running. And then what happened was, when they went silent, and I'm talking about be it Riyadh season or Matchroom on Martinez, we were in silence. And he signed for the rematch against Aoka, which put us in a very strong position to win the race. And I knew that the IBF vacant belt was going to be recontested between the two co-challengers, which ended in a draw a few months ago. And I remember being in my office a few weeks back with Phumelela, and Phumelela said to me, I don't know if this rematch for the vacant IBF title is going to happen. And someone whispered in my ear, and I said to Phumelela, watch. He's like, you really think so? And literally within 24 hours, I sent him the press release, and I said, I told you that the IBF wouldn't be available. I told you that Martinez would sign for a rematch with Aoka, which my prediction was correct, which kind of all roads led to Phumelela getting the shot and the call for the unification.
And then I think you would have called Boxing 5 now, because you were building up to the 24th of May and Larry at Carnival City. Then how did you take the news or this development?
Well, as it is, Colin and I, and we say it, and people we don't just say it, it actually happens. We look to change lives for our fighters. And the call, I got the call 2 o'clock in the morning.
As usual.
As usual, yeah. This is obviously because of the time, in America and the time here, and he doesn't sleep, and I just sleep, and then he wakes me up. So, but I got the call, and he said, this is it, and he told me what it was. And one thing that I've learned over the 2 years working with him, he understands it, and he predicted this. When they signed for the other unification, he phoned me up and he said, listen, I can tell you now, we're in the mix for the BAM unification. And people think we don't talk too much, we keep it to ourselves until it's signed. And then he said to me, we've been made an offer. And, when you're dealing on that stage, if they came to me and said, this is the offer, I would have just signed it. Take it. Not him, he doesn't work like that. He said, okay, and he said, but you need to look a little bit more. I said, you don't want them to run away and say no. Came back and said, fine. That's the difference. he knows exactly what buttons to push and who to talk to, and it's not that he just knows the rules, and he knows how it works to get fighters into eliminations and into world titles.
So even though you had the homecoming lined up for the 24th of May, you basically saying this was an opportunity you couldn't pass.
Couldn't pass. And just to tell you, because when he told me it could happen, I said, well, we can't let South Africa down, because we said there's a tournament on the 24th of May at Carnival.
Yeah.
So then we started working on plan B. So we had plan A there, just in case, with the bill. And then we planned the bill for the 24th of May. And we said, we're going to put on something spectacular. And that's what we did. The bill was, now we're putting on 3 IBF titles and 2 international fights and 3 up-and-coming youngsters.
So that show's still going ahead.
That show goes on.
Okay, but there's a big show for the Truth. Phumelela Cafu is here, the champ. How do you feel when Truth, now that the fight has been confirmed and it's been announced?
I won't lie, Judy feels amazing, you know. I think when I started calling out for Ben, people thought I was delusional.
Well, they still think you are.
They thought I was delusional. Probably like they didn't think that fight is possible for me, or that fight will never happen. Guess what? The fight is happening and I'm ready for it, man. And they're busy like talking. I saw like when I woke up today, I just like received a post. Someone said I won't make it through round 5 or even to round 5. I'm like, geez. Like, which means I won't make it to the second half of the fight. I'm like, okay, they should just watch me. That's all I can say.
Okay, for those who don't know, Cafu is the WBO champion, and then Bam Rodriguez is the WBC and ring champion. So they're basically, it's a unification. They're putting the belts together, and it doesn't get bigger than the WBC title when it comes to boxing, even though there are 4 organizations. But the green belt is the coveted one, is the one that most boxers aim for, and that's the big prize for them. Is that the big prize for you? I would think that's it for you also. That's the motivation.
Nah, the Ring magazine is the motivation.
The Ring magazine for you is even the icing on the cake.
Yeah, the Ring magazine.
That's what you want.
Yeah, that's what I want. Because, you know, even if you look at the SA champions, former SA champions here in South Africa, only a few have got a chance to hold the Ring magazine. So me winning that fight would obviously like put me in the Hall of Fame. Like, I'll just imagine I get into the Hall of Fame at the age of 26. So that's really like something really amazing.
Do you see it as an opportunity to shock the world?
Yes, of course.
Since no one is giving you a chance.
Yeah, I won't be calling out for Bam if I didn't think I beat him. Like, why would I be calling out for him? Like, I could have like said, no, I don't want that fight. I want my homecoming. I will fight here at home, and then we'll see. Probably like after 3 defenses, I'd say, no, I want to unify. But no, I said I want Bam. Like the minute I won the fight, like I said, I want Bam. I remember I told everyone that these are the guys that I want to fight. I want to fight the best guys. I want to prove myself against the best guys in the division. And people saying that I'm not ready for Bam, it's not something new to me. Like, even when I fought Chawuka at first, I had 6 fights and everyone wrote me off like, who am I? And I've been inactive for about 2 years, and people thought Chawuka is gonna go in there and destroy me. Guess what? I performed, and that fight ended up being the fight of the year. I was announced that I'm gonna fight Stele. People thought I'd lose to Stele. Just imagine. So
let's not forget you knocked him out in the first minute.
In 26 seconds. So you get my point. So even when I was announced that I'm gonna fight Tanaka, that was like, what is Cole doing? Like, why would he agree to that fight? So he doesn't care about me, you know, something like that. And guess what? I shook the world. I became the world champion. So even now they are gonna talk. I was expecting this. They think I'm not ready. That's what they think. But I do have a team that believes in me. And there's a say that goes like this: people that doubt you will make you doubt yourself, and people that believe in you will make you give birth to something that you never knew about yourself. So I'm glad that I have the team that believes in me, and I believe in myself. That's what matters.
Spoken like a true champion, Phumelela Cafu here. And Colin, on that note, putting everything else aside and how lucrative or the significance of this fight, I guess you wouldn't have taken the fight if you didn't think you have a chance of winning here.
Well, I actually thought you were going to say to me, do I think it's too soon, knowing your line of questioning episode? And my answer simply was, because I was thinking about it.
I think I've learned my lesson after the fight in Japan.
It's like this, is that, well, was he ready for Tanaka? People think
not many people thought so. You were probably the only one that did, because he hadn't been outside of the country. It was the first time you guys were working together. First fight, international fight. He was having a crack at the title.
Yeah, and I also feel that this is the right time, the right chance, the right moment to fulfill his dream and legacy. I feel that a lot of people globally undervalue and underestimate South African boxing and South African fighters. And the odds are going to be stacked heavily against us. But I know that I've got the right chess piece to create the moments of checkmate. And, boxing isn't just about two guys getting in the ring, it's about strategically planning. And there are holes in Bam. And my feeling is, and respect him because he's a great fighter. His wife's pregnant, he's having his second child, and congratulations to him. But I really feel that they're going to overlook us. And that's obviously not one of the motivations that we're going to go into camp with, because we're going into camp with a different mindset. We're going in that we have to keep to our game, and more so than Tanaka. And I know that Phumelela can actually pull it through. And when it gets deep, he can swim. And that's what I look at. I look at a fighter who is hungry for success, who really, really wants to win. And it's not just about the opportunity, because, all fighters will say, oh, yeah, I'm really grateful for the opportunity. It's really great to be here. But to me, it's not about that. It's a challenge, and it's an opportunity that I feel that he really has to take and can take with both hands.
And maybe can you put the fight into significance for us? What does it mean? WBC champion against the WBO champion. He's also obviously eyeing to be the ring champion. I know we have a lot of people that are not familiar with boxing. We might take it for granted that we understand how big this fight is, but how would you explain it just to the layman?
Yeah, I mean, it's a division that has really grown over the last few years. Chocolatito is one of the guys who actually put, the light divisions on the map. And Bam Rodriguez, legitimately, if you know your boxing, and you even just a casual boxing fan in America,
he's one of the new stars of the sport.
He is a legitimate world champion and a legit top 10 pound for pound fighter in the world.
21-0.
And he's probably getting better and better, but equally so is Phumelela Cafu, or Cafu. Depends on which day you catch Phumelela on. And I feel that, we and I'm going to say this, and maybe the boxing public in South Africa are going to come down hard on me, but I feel that he is even undervalued in South Africa in terms of his ability. And he said it himself. He did surprise everyone in his first fight with Jackson Chake. The second one he won clean, as far as I'm concerned. And then he's just gotten better and better. The fights in Japan, with the odds 8-1 against us, have geared us up to this moment. Now, people think, I was actually asked on a different radio station last night, do I not think we're going to be overwhelmed? Well, if I thought we were going to be overwhelmed, we would have been in Japan with 14,000 Japanese fans against us. This is obviously also a massive stage. But equally, Tanaka came with a massive pedigree. 4-division world champion, a superstar in Japanese boxing, globally recognized. And here we are with this moment in the shot against a credible top 10 pound for pound fighter. And how big is this? What's the significance? Well, it's a unification between two unbeaten world champions. The last unification between two world champions was Matabula versus Donaire. Probably about 13 years ago.
Jeez.
And Donaire also was pound for pound, top 10. But this is different. Matabula wasn't unbeaten. Phumelela's unbeaten. Rodriguez is unbeaten. It's for the ring belts as well. The linear championship of the world. So I concur with Phumelela. This isn't just about the belts. It's about legacy. It's about the Ring Magazine belt. And it's about becoming a global star on the 19th of July.
And Larry, you said it's about changing lives also. You want to change lives. That's why you are in this business. What exactly do you mean by that? And how do you think this fight can change lives?
Obviously, change lives. Japan was life-changing for him because of his experience. But also, we can't pay the fighters in South Africa the money they get overseas. So it will be a discredit to him. And it was amazing for us to be able to put the fight on. But we can't match them for their purses. And if you're on top of the world, you deserve to get that purse. We want the public to see him, but then at what cost? That he's now coming in and we can only match so much because we don't get funding, and we got to do it ourselves. And you got to put buns on seats, but you got to give him what he's due. And this, if you look at the two, there's no ways we could have afforded to give him what he deserved. And that's what changes lives. You know, when people make enough money to buy his mother a house, to do this, to do that, and he's set for life with money, and he looks after it. Not that he's going to stop boxing,
Sure.
but that's changing lives.
Yeah.
You know, when you look where these guys have come from, when you look at not just him, all the fighters we have, these youngsters that they can't afford taxi money to come to boxing. You know, so they got to Uber and you do this, and yet they're credible fighters, and they fall by the wayside because there's nobody there to give them the opportunity to change their life.
Yeah, and the others that have to hold down other jobs while they are professional boxers, while they are even SA champions, and they still have to do other jobs. And you've always said it, Truth, that you also want to change the situation back home, and that's why you want to be involved in this kind of fights.
Yeah, man, I've been saying that. And remember last year, I told you that I'm going to buy my mama a house. So definitely after this fight, I'm definitely going to get her a house. So that's amazing, man. That's amazing, you know, when you get to take off the person that you like has been taking care of you the entire life and your entire life. So that's really amazing, man, knowing that I'll be able to give back to her. So
yeah. And that's what the sport sometimes is all about. It's not just about the boxing inside the ring, but even outside the ring. The sport is about changing lives and changing situations. And we are glad to see managers and promoters that also have the boxers' best interests at heart. We've got a couple of voice notes. We're going to continue our conversation, but let's acknowledge some of the listeners. 060-584-2250 is the number for the voice notes, and you can call us on 086-000-2479. Before we go to the voice notes, Cafu, after you went to Japan, big fight, first one overseas, did life change for the better for you at least? Has there been some change?
yeah, it's been some changes. As I've been saying, it took some time for the thing that I'm a world champion to sink in. So after it sank in, I started to move differently. I started to do differently. I've been getting a lot of attention from different people. So I feel like it changed for the better. But this one is huge. Like we're talking about life-changing moment. After this fight, I promise I'll never go broke again. My mom will get a house. So life will never be the same, and after this moment. So yeah.
Speak it into existence, champ. Okay, let's play the voice note.
Good evening, Tabiso, and thank you very much for honoring Boxing Wednesday, my brother. We are looking forward to that fight, Rodriguez. I hope this time the Truth is very much prepared for the fight. I've seen few of his fight. That guy. Now we are waiting for a very great fight, and we wish him all of the best. May he continue to sharpen himself and prove to the world that actually he deserves to be the champion in South Africa. Thanks very much, Colin. All of the best, my brother. All of the best, and then prepare our champ. Thank you very much, Tabiso.
It's Abiso. It's Champ Phumelela again. Good evening to the guests that you got there in the studio. With the Truth, Colin, and everybody. Tabiso, Phumelela is already a champ in our eyes. He must go out and prove. He doesn't have to prove it to anybody else. He must prove it to himself, which is the best. He can box against anybody. I mean, I know he's gonna beat them. He's gonna do it. Phumelela is surrounded by greatness, Tabiso. I mean, you know, the supporting people that are around him, they're good at their job. The only thing that he needs to do is just to focus on his job, box, and win this thing for us. I trust him. I mean, the Truth, I trust you, bro. I know you're going to do this.
Okay, thanks, Temba. The Truth shall set you free. Yeah, July 19, we're building up in Dallas, Texas, and it is a co-main event, by the way. Colin will tell us after the break who else is headlining this fight, and we'll also look ahead then to what we can expect on the 24th, because Larry has confirmed that tournament is still going ahead. We're building up to Cafu up against Rodriguez. We've got another voice note.
Hey everyone, Nana here. Just want to send a shout out to Phumelela. I want him to know that we love and support him. This London's got your back, always and forever.
Good evening, Taviso, and your guests. Spoken like a true champ, my guy. I honestly believe you got this. You've got the right team. That's one thing I've actually picked from this conversation. You have got the people with the best interest at heart, your best interest at heart. And as much as you believe yourself and you've got your mind in the right space, you know what you want. I honestly believe you're gonna go in and you will bring it home. You know what I mean? I think this fight is for you to win. It's just I'm just having this feeling because really it's based on how you actually compose yourself throughout this interview. You can tell this is someone that is actually prepared, and you know and the team that you said you have, I can tell this is just a quantum force. And all the best, man. All the best. We really can't wait to see you.
Yeah, that's a new one. It's a quantum force. That's what we are gonna call them. But thank you for those voice notes. Thank you, Nana. Also, yeah, life is really changing now, eh? Hey, do you know Nana?
Yeah, I do.
From back home. Good to see the support from back home. Also, Colin. Obviously we've been talking about life changing, but how much life changing potentially is this fight worth?
Worth. Well, obviously we can't disclose numbers and figures, but it is life changing. And I know you were saying to me off air, like the Sowetan made some sort of theory on the fee, and all I'm gonna say, the fee I'm gonna point up to North, but it's more.
North.
Yeah.
Is that now the fee for the boxer for the champ?
Yes.
North of 3.5 million, basically,
but
because that's what the Sowetan said.
I'm still not disclosing the figures, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, no.
Like I'm saying to you, it's that. So it's the legacy aspect, and then obviously the financial reward that, as Larry quite correctly said, he's deserving of.
Yeah, no, sometimes it's not wise to disclose figures. I remember when we had a caddy on our show. I think he was caddying, Katlako will remind me, I think he was caddying for Brendan Grace. He had won a big tournament on the PGA Tour. And you know caddies get 10% of what the golfer wins. So if the guy wins $5 million, you get 10% of that as a caddy. So all along he's been caddying for 10 years. And his family didn't realize that that's how much money he was making as a caddy. The day after we mentioned that he was getting 10% of the 5 million, he said he was getting so many calls from people he didn't know and family.
Maybe I should become a caddy.
Maybe because at one stage Tiger Woods' caddy was the richest sportsman in New Zealand, because he's from New Zealand. Yeah,
wow.
He was the richest sportsman. So sometimes we need to be careful about these things. But let's confirm then the tournament. July 19th is the date.
July 19th. We are the main event.
You are the main event.
Diego Pacheco is going to be main support.
Uh-huh.
But we are headlining this event, and it's great. Jerry Jones, it's his stadium. You know, Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yes.
So we're just looking at a breathtaking event and just a spectacular showing from Phumelela, and obviously gearing him up now. We start a camp this week, funny enough, to shock the world.
And then where do you expect people to be able to watch the fight then?
Well, right now it's obviously scheduled on DAZN. I have a sneaky feeling that DAZN's probably going to reach out to one or two other broadcasters here to see if they can get the fight. But right now, I would encourage people to get their subscriptions going for DAZN and watch The Truth live beating Jesse Ben Rodriguez.
Before that, 24th of May, Carnival City, Larry, then how have you reworked this tournament?
So what we've done is we've got three IBF Intercontinental African 2 titles, which we've got Katlego fighting Lucky Mobiani, and then we've got Frank Uomai Sotomela fighting in Namibian.
Who's Frank?
Who's Frank? I remember after you won, he had a t-shirt written, who's Frank?
And then we've got Ishmael Kadri. Unfortunately, he couldn't fight for the actual RBF, but what again I got to say, Colin then said, no, well, you got to give the kid some title to fight for. He's fighting for the IBF youth title, and he's fighting a boy from Namibia.
Okay.
And then we have Lerato Domini on our tournament, and not to be outdone, we've got Sequence and Kotoli.
Jeez.
And then we've got
those are some big names, by the way. If you're not familiar with boxing, yes, go ahead.
And then we've got the 2 babies. We've got Josh Feldman and Daron Zimmerman. And then we've got a youngster that was supposed to fight on our development tournament. and unfortunately, his fighter that he was supposed to fight, we had 10 fights, all keen to fight, working towards it, and then we get told, no, the guy, his opponent, on the date away, his license hasn't been paid. So we even said, we'll pay for it. No, we can't do it. Anyway, we said to him, we tell you what, we're going to put you on the 24th. I promise you, his smile changed from ear to ear. To be on that tournament, a debut fight. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, those are some big names then. Sekongotole, Kadri, Lights Out Lamini, Cat, Frank Sotomela, 24th of May will be there at Carnival City then for this one put together by Boxing 5. 19th of July, Dallas, Texas. I wanted to say we'll be there also. Probably you might just find us there. I mean, there's a lot at stake at the moment. But Cafu, we've had people now sending messages. You sound very confident. They're wishing you all the best. What's your final message then? What's your truth to the people out there ahead of this fight and before you go into camp?
Thanks to everyone who believes in me, and like I've been saying, you all should put me on your prayers. And thanks to everyone that genuinely supports me, and I'm fully grateful for you all. And I promise you guys, on the 19th of July, I will become the WBC and the Ring Magazine and the WBO World Champion. That's a promise to you guys. I'm bringing the titles home, so you guys keep on supporting me. Yeah, man, life will change for the better. I'm ready to become a global star.
You looking forward to fighting in the US?
Yeah, I'm looking forward, and actually, my role model, Errol Spence, is from Dallas, so obviously he's gonna be there. So feels amazing, man. I know who's gonna be there, so that's gonna be a huge night. I promise I'm gonna pull up in my best form. I don't think Bam is ready for what's coming, and if he's gonna step into the ring with 100% mindset of winning, then he's gonna get the shock of his life.
Wow, the truth shall set you free. 2 unbeaten fighters putting everything on the line. Bam Rodriguez, 21 fights, 21 wins, 14 by knockout. Phumelela Cafu, only 11 fights, by the way, but he's already 14 fights, 8 wins, 3 draws.
No, 11 wins.
11 wins,
8 knockouts.
8 knockouts and 3 draws. 14, you're right. 14, and he's already fighting on the biggest stage of them all, up against Bam Rodriguez. So we wish you all the best, young man. You've handled yourself very well. You have a good head on your shoulders, good team around you also, and we are confident that you will deliver. Those who don't want to